Today when we look to the night sky, what do we see? If what you observe seems normal, that is likely because the coming generations have very little experience with an authentic dark sky. However, what many people recognize at night is in sharp contrast with the sky of the past. It might be shocking, but today 80% of Earth's land and 99% of the population of the United States and Europe is blocked from viewing the Milky Way. This forgotten visual of the great beyond was generally observed just a short half-century ago. Our night sky wasn't always like this. The large expansion of artificial lighting has diminished much of what we can see when at night, resulting in something we call light pollution. This light pollution epidemic has rapidly increased all over the globe and masked the stars humans have always witnessed. This is a recent and developing issue that many people don't realize is happening. To further our research, we reached out to James Madison University professor and author of The End of Night, Paul Bogard, who touched on the growth of light pollution.
How much have you been seeing light pollution grow, as in, like, the problem or epidemic of it, if it's to that point yet?
There's no doubt that it continues to grow all over the world, really, and anywhere that there are more people, there's going to be more lights.
Right.
One of the things that's happening right now is that a lot of cities and towns are moving from electric lighting to electronic lighting, which is LEDs, and in a lot of cases this is making the problem worse because LEDs are brighter than the old kind of lighting.
New technology has been part of the decline in natural light as well. The growth in light pollution has many negative effects, but there are steps everyone can take to save our night sky. The expansion of artificial lighting doesn't just limit Earth's visibility of the sky, it also harms its inhabitants. Many ecosystems are thrown off from our light, starting at the bottom of the food chain.
What kind of effects can everyday people see that light pollution is having on our environments, like in nature, on beings and animals and other organisms?
It's a tricky question because I think most people aren't very aware of the environment and nature. They don't really pay attention to what's happening. So, but if you do pay attention, you can see when it's summertime or fall or whatever, you can see insects around lights, street lights and signs like that, and that's not a good thing. That's, the lights are drawing the insects out of the ecosystem and out of the food chain. And a lot of things eat those insects and depend on those insects for their protein. So if the insects are flying around the light, they're either being sort of wiped out by predators or they're dying from exhaustion or killing themselves in the light. It's just not natural. So that's one obvious thing.
Drawing animals away from ecosystems dramatically affect the functionality of the food chains. For example, if insects are drawn away from their homes by city lights, then the predators of the insects will be without food. This ripple in the chain can dramatically drain the ecosystem of its fine working parts needed to function properly. The light we emit can mess up natural cycles and migrations as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge problem, and there's some recent studies that have shown they're starting to show that, like, you may have heard of the scientists are pretty worried about pollinators like bees and butterflies and other insects that we depend on to pollinate fruits and flowers and that kind of thing. And there's been a big drop.
There have been long-term studies showing different effects of light pollution on humans as well. We took the opportunity to ask Paul what he has found in his studies.
There hasn't been a ton of research on the effect of light on our bodies, but there's more and more all the time, and it seems to support what I just said, that it is having an effect. And the three main things that they're finding is that it's contributing to sleep disorders, it's confusing our circadian rhythms, and it's impeding the production of melatonin, the hormone melatonin at night, and that's the link to cancer.
Expanding on what Paul told us, we found an overwhelming amount of studies linking sleep issues to light pollution in our communities. But the effects don't stop at sleep. There have been a few studies linking the decreased melatonin levels to breast cancer as well. It makes logical sense this phenomenon is not natural. Artificial lighting is still a relatively new practice by humans on Earth. Many people just simply don't realize how leaving their lights on at night affects the whole community. However, it's not too late. We can still fix this type of pollution. How can anyone help out? Well, there's plenty of ways. Streetlights are one of the main light pollution culprits. Streetlight shields are an effective way to diminish light pollution while saving electricity. These shields fit around the casing of the bulb and utilize a protection filament similar to what's found in sunglasses. The addition of a shield to a streetlight stops light from escaping into the sky, eliminating the unused and harmful light rays. This also increases the effectiveness of bulbs on the street below, as many of the luminescence from the streetlight is directed down to the ground. This enables cities to use lower wattage light bulbs in their streetlights, in effect, saving money in the strenuous task of lighting up the night. Shielding lights in businesses can also be beneficial, and changing from high flare fixtures to shielded light fixtures improves traffic and sales revenue in businesses such as gas stations. The shielded lights are more appealing to customers and save electricity in addition to helping limit light pollution. By talking to managers at your work, school, or community about implementing these shielded lights, you can help make a difference in bringing back a truly dark sky. Motion detectors are a cheap and effective way to automatically turn off your outdoor lights at night, lowering your electricity bill and reducing light pollution at the same time. These serve as another simple solution anyone can use to limit their light pollution output.
What can people do to reverse or limit this light pollution this excess light pollution that's being inflicted on the environment?
I think it depends on your circumstances. You know, if you are, I mean, the first thing is to become aware of it, and if you're aware of it, to help other people become aware of it. Because, like I said, most people are just have no idea that it's a problem. If you know, it depends on what your community is too. If you have a house where you can choose better lights or turn your lights off, or if you have a business where you can have an impact, or if you're in a school, for example, you know, find out who controls the lighting and talk about you know, why the lighting that's currently used is not the best way to do it, and that kind of thing. Or if you're in a town or a suburb, you know, to work with local governments. So it's, you know, it's a big problem, but it's not a problem that we don't know how to solve.
The future of our night sky will ultimately depend on our initiative to change it. Light pollution is a serious issue that impacts wildlife and humans. If we can make an initiative to help in any way possible, we can stop the issue, but otherwise our night sky will fall out of existence as it is drowned out by our cities with the lights they contain. Only you can prevent starless skies.